Hello, hello.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, PPT visible?
PPT. First page is visible, and then I think first page is visible, then next page visible also. No issue, sir. You may go ahead, sir, please. Please assure all can see this PDF file or not. If it is so, then it's okay. Then otherwise,
Hello.
hello. Yes,
Ma'am,
sir.
ma'am, page changing or not?
Yeah, it is also changing.
Okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a welcome all to this session on integration immersive technology. We are for enhanced realism and engagement in virtual labs. We are privileged to have with us Dr. Aparna Dixit, a leading expert in this field. Her insights will guide us in exploring the future of interactive and immersive learning. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Aparna Dixit. Dr. Dixit, the stage is yours.
Yeah, I'm just starting it now. Okay, thank you so much. Come to the first page. Okay, so today I am very fortunate that I got this opportunity to speak in front of all of you. Some may be junior, some may be senior. If you got any point where I some mistakes, so please forget about that. And I apologize whatever if you found any mistake in my presentation. Okay, during. So, anyways, come to the main point. As we know, we three are regional noodle center at IIT Kanpur, and of once we basically it's our PSIT in IIT Kanpur as a virtual lab noodle centers. We performed in a lot of labs. We performed lot of experiments also. Our students, faculty members did a lot of hard work in their direction, and successfully we made there more than 60 experiments, not lab, 60 experiments, and all these are in different domain like R programming lab and blockchain, the blockchain for the beginners. Initially, we worked on the Python programming. Okay, so then we start working on virtual lab on we can say in special theory of relativity. So I myself, Aparna Dixit, went to Gujarat University, and there we actually we took part in a competition that was actually it was not bootathon, that was famous as boot camp. Okay, so initially we worked on some lab
This meeting is being recorded.
which are not practically possible. So we worked on that lab. So as we know, if we consider a fast moving particle or fast moving object, so we consider the light wave that can go with the speed 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, so actually no one can go with this or high greater than this speed. So basically, we worked on because no object can go at with this high speed, 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Practically, we cannot perform the experiment except time dilation. We can do for the mesons. So basically, which are coming through the we can say ultra high energy cosmic rays. So this is a part of cosmic ray when come to the atmospheric layer, and they interact with the molecules in the atmospheric layer, and then the mesons are developed. Okay, so there actually we can perform experiment of time dilation, but it is practically not possible in case of everyday life in our labs. Okay, so this is the practical problem to understand the topic of special theory of relativity during the theory course. Okay, so my topic is use and development of virtual laboratory with virtual reality integration. Actually, we integrate ourselves one step ahead from virtual laboratory to virtual reality. Now we are trying to convert all the labs by following the concept of virtual reality, because in virtual laboratory we can see some other aspects, but in virtual reality the clarity of the concepts actually enhances, काफी हद तक बढ़ जाती है. So this is our objective in virtual lab, just to spread the same message or labs to lot of community which are basically physically not able to work out in their respective labs. Okay, just because of less number of experiments, just because of less number of components, sometimes just because of less number of manpower. So we know that over 30 students at least we must have some lab instructor. So these are some practical, we can say practical or technical glitches, okay, while we perform any experiment. Okay, and the same problem has been observed in medical education also. Okay, so in anatomy when they got to know about human body, so no one is ready to give the human body after their death. Okay, so nowadays it is so, now it is everyone is will just take the consent of the dependent of the death, so that once they get consent of them, and then they can take off the body and can go for the anatomy department. Okay, so for the same actually it was popular in US. So initially they have started a virtual lab first, just to make a simulator for the human body, and then they realized it is not sufficient to understand the human anatomy. So it is most important to have a simulator in the physical form, like augmented reality. So then they worked on the, first of all, virtual reality. Suppose this is the human body and we wear the headset, and then we can perform the experiment, like how to detach the bones, and then how to put the organs inside the body, and try to understand this is the part of heart, this is the part of lung, this is the rib cage. So basically overall structure of the human body could be better understand that. Okay, and then they decided to go for the augmented reality so that they can have a simulator in the physical form, and that works in a better way, because that simulator was made up of the silicon and some other also material. So it was very feasible to handle, or to do observation with the same, because same reaction was given by following the concept of all, and the back end and all, by following the HTML and all these things. Okay, so they worked on very hard for the same simulator, and the people decided it was working well. So the people in entire world basically decided, yes, it is very feasible, and it is the right of all human beings to understand the basic things via virtual lab, because this may be a very we can say, not a costlier platform, and can approach people to people, those who are not able to perform the experiment in their lab just because of lack of manpower, lack of experiments, lack of components, lack of instructor. So they could better understand under the platform of virtual lab. And this is the initiative of MHRD, Government of India initiative. Okay, so but we are very fortunate one that we have IIT Kanpur, and all of us are collaborated with them. And fortunately, we got an opportunity for virtual reality. So we are working on them now. Without delaying, we are moving ahead. So please go to the next slide. Yes, right now, actually, I would like to speak on the integration of virtual labs in teaching learning. Actually, if we go for the Sustainable Development Goal 4, so the education development agenda, it was taken by the United Nations SDGs goal number 4. They have took initiative just to develop the and globalize the education of like how to teach and learn in a better way. So they took initiative, and the development adopted by India, it was in 2015. They seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities by 2030. We took initiative to make it perfect at to 2030. Just to accomplish this goal, new education policy 2020 also emphasized on creating virtual labs so that the students, not only for the college level, for the professional course, engineering institution, or technical universities, or non-technical science universities like our Kanpur University, CSJM, Lucknow University, and all like BHU. So basically, in new education policy, if you remember, it has been already included virtual lab. Okay, so they have included in their curriculum semester wise. Suppose if we talk about the CSGM University, they've included virtual lab facility in their curriculum, like in first semester, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth during BSc program, and as well as in the MSc program also. Okay, in first year and second year, fourth semester program. So they have taken this initiative, and it doesn't mean we should forget about the physical labs. No, it doesn't mean we should basically go far away from the our physical labs. We should well connected. Actually, this is the platform which is basically making a bridge. The virtual lab actually making a bridge to understand our physical lab. Once the student or faculty go there, so they can have a feel of if we increase the voltage, if we decrease the voltage, what they cannot do, or not allowed to, or not instructed to perform in their physical labs. So basically, they can play well in the platform of virtual labs. Okay, so here all the students in entire, not only in India, across the world, they have equal access to quality practical and hands-on. They can learn a lot of things. They can have experiences while they perform these experiments. So this is nothing but a teaching learning process. And what about good for teachers? Actually, once we go for the experiments under the super what we have prepared, or anyone has prepared under the supervision of IIT Kanpur. So this is my humble request to all of you. Please go through these experiments what IIT Kanpur is leading, so you can better way suggest us like what to do next, and what are the pitfalls of the experiments in which actually you can do better actually. Okay, so you can go for that proposal also. Okay, please go for the next part. Here, I would like to say about the traditional laboratory and some other laboratory at virtual lab. So, what is the difference between advantages and disadvantages? We saw that in our traditional laboratory. There are some advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, actually, we can see the experiment, we can access them physically. Well, we can understand about the, suppose if we talk about the physical science experiments, so we can have a feel of dark room experiments based on wave optics. We can have a feel of bright room experiments based on electricity, magnetism, classical mechanics, and all. Okay, so basically, but they can perform the experiment only on the earth. Okay, but they cannot have a feel like they are performing the experiment on the same experiment on not only on earth, some other planets. And is it affecting or not, it cannot be done. Suppose if we talk about the experiment on Newton's ring in physics, so basically we use the source of light as a sodium source. Okay, we do not use the other one like neon lights. Okay, some red lights, just because of because a student perform the experiment for a long time, and the sodium source of light is very soothing to eye. It doesn't any harm to the human eye. So it is better to keep that source. But in if we talk about the same experiment at virtual lab platform, so here the people have given the opportunity to use a different type of source also. The student can understand, suppose the wavelength of light source is this, so what will be the effect on the diameter of the ring. Okay, whatever they are looking after through the microscope. Okay, so this is the beauty of virtual lab. So if we talk about the advantages in our physical laboratory, that is the traditional. So we can say we can generate more and more ideas in the real form, because when we perform the experiments, we can do some many more manipulations also. Okay, so we can put even the exact value as an output value, and then we can see the changes in the input values, and we can see the changes in the graphs also, right? And now we can see advantage is that you can have a support from the technician in industrial type of, or we can say some laboratories of CSIR. You can see there would be a good presence of the scientific officers. So mostly the people who are doing the PhD program under CSIR, so basically they have a good opportunity to have technicians as well as scientific officers. They normally perform the experiment in front of that. So not an issue. A lot of advantages of traditional laboratory, even in our at our institutes also. Normally we found even REC Banda, IIT Lucknow, REC Kannauj, everywhere we can see we have a sufficient number of teachers and faculty members, and as well as we have a good number of technicians also. So the student perform the experiments in front of their supervision. Okay, so this is the best part of the traditional laboratory. But what are the disadvantages? Let us discuss about that. These are very costly one. So if we talk about some experiments in MSc, and some experiment while we our student basically during their BTech program they experience. So most of the time it is observed that we cannot afford the costlier experiment. Okay, normally suppose the cost is more than crores, so we just leave them. Okay, it is very costly, and it is not practically possible to connect all the 2 to 3 nodes of this experiment, because we have a good number of students and cannot accommodate to all. So it is not practically possible. Okay, so we have already pre-scheduled lab timetable. Suppose we have a first or second lecture, and like students have to perform anyhow this experiment, but somebody is not present in the class today, just because of some medical reason, medical issues, or some other issues. So basically the student is not able, whatever what will be happen. So the next time he or she will try to do better, but maybe suppose if that turn is already left by the students, so it is not possible to basically perform the experiment. Okay, so here if we see in our physical labs, we need more and more number of trained technicians, because they look forward all of the students at a time, because they need to monitor the because someone is not going to touch the DC current directly, or some wire is naked, how the student is taking all, is he or she taking all the precautions or not, how the voltage should be put. So basically, it all of these things basically need some require some trained technicians. Okay, and of course, when the experiment would be performed by the experiments, so most of the time it is observed that the maintenance charges are too high. Just give me one second. Uh, Let me handle the call. Okay, so please go ahead. So now this is the animated laboratory. Now we'd like to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of animated laboratory. So if we talk about the animated laboratory, some lot of actually advantages. How? So you have to step guide of the experiments. You just follow all the number one guidelines, number two guideline, number three, number four, and then you perform the experiment. You can see the effectiveness of the visualization of the entire experiments, how look like the experiment, how look like the rheostat and all these, how what should be the order, what should be the arrangements, and their circuit diagram. So everything is basically there. Suppose one of the students is performing experiment on the virtual platform, so basically they have all the things in front of them, so they can perform the experiment. It is easily accessible. No ethical issues are like how to touch, not to touch, because the student can better understand. Just wait a minute. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of these labs? Only visual presentations for the users. Variable cannot be changed to the desired value. Okay, sometimes it has happened, there is a limitations of the variable. Like only one variable can be changed to the desired value. Okay, so please go to the next slide. Okay, so this is about the simulation laboratory. Here you can see many more advantages as compared to other. It is more interactive. Actually, in this simulation laboratory, you can see the entire manual on the virtual lab platform. It is more interactive. You can see all the steps. User can change the values to the desired value, actually, because the people have designed virtual labs for each and every experiment in such a way so they can plot a graph as 2D or 3D. We can change one of the values by keeping some of the value constant. Along x-axis, we can give some variation to value and see the effect on the y-axis and keeping other value as a constant value. So this is the beauty of virtual lab. So you can see the more and more realistic result, which is very close to the standard values. Here the students have they have many more opportunity to do the mistakes what they in the real laboratory. Okay, suppose in real laboratory, sometimes a student think like, okay, should I touch the DC or direct current or not? So, what will happen? Actually, he or she will be a little bit confused. Should I touch or not? But in case of this virtual laboratory, they have full opportunity to do the mistakes, and they can basically have a message also. Suppose you are choosing the high voltage, you are touching it by hand, so you can see the effect. So once you keep the hand on it, so basically you injured itself. So basically you may aware about the high voltage and low voltage, what will be the effect on the experiment. Okay, so these in these laboratory, actually you can perform experiments many more time, and it is totally independent of the fixed time of classroom or our lab's timetable. Okay, so there is no need to stay only for 2 hours. Suppose I'm feeling very good in the evening hours, I have a 1 cup of tea, and I can open my mobile or some laptop, and then I can open the virtual lab platform, IIT Kanpur website, and all other participating institute also. And then we can perform the experiment not only one time, we can repeat itself so many times, so that I can have a full idea to understand the basic concept of that particular lab. So at that moment, actually, this learning enhance the theoretical concept also, and this learning platform is most important for the student, we can say, to understand the theoretical concept in a better way. Even while the any student is basically, suppose a studying or a teacher is instructing them in a theory class, in meanwhile they can take a permission from the teacher. Shall I open my mobile, or should we open this experiment in the mobile virtual lab platform, so that parallel, if we could change the variables here, so what will be the effect, what the faculty member is practicing on the board. So this is the way, because I remember, in case of physics, if we talk about the physics, so in third unit we normally teach interference and diffraction. So in interference of light, in our physical labs, normally we perform two experiment, like Fresnel biprism, and the other is the Newton's ring. Okay, so suppose a student is understanding about the refractive index of a liquid, while we pour during the observations in the experiment. Okay, of a different refractive index. So what will be the effect on the diameter of the ring? Okay, so suppose the teacher is or faculty is delivering the lecture, and writing some derivation of diameter relation with the refractive index of the medium. Okay, so at the same time, if a student is performing the same experiment, okay, via mobile, so basically he or she can understand how this changes is possible in derivation that is coming true in the experiment also. So basically it gives 100% to the student, like whatever you are understanding in the theory lecture, so basically it is true in your lab also. Okay, so I think this give another signature to the student, and their outcomes also, learning outcomes, like you or being a faculty member, you will be assured like he or she will definitely secure good marks in this subject also. Okay, just because of the confirmation of the conceptual knowledge, theoretical and the experimental as well. Okay, what are the disadvantages? One to one instructions from the teachers, whatever you are getting from the teachers while you perform experiment in your physical lab, so it is not in your traditional lab, it is practically not possible. No access to real time experiment also, because here you are attaching or attaching the experiments and then basically perform the experiment. So we cannot have that. Okay, please go ahead. Please go to the next slide. So here actually now I would like to talk about the training with virtual reality labs. When I received some message from IIT Kanpur, we can work on the virtual reality. I belong to physics domain. Okay, so here we accepted this opportunity and then proposed some experiment on virtual reality concept. Okay, so we were actually requiring to perform to basically make new experiments on virtual reality concept. Total, it was 8 to 9 experiment. Okay, so here in virtual reality, actually, we gave this opportunity to the students, some faculty members. So they worked on and they got actually good results also. Okay, so if we talk about the training with virtual reality lab, is not meant to replace traditional, what I was saying in the last slides also, VR or virtual laboratory trainings basically doesn't mean we need to replace the traditional training options, traditional labs. No, these are actually not the solution of our physical labs, but they help a lot to the student as well as to the faculty members, just to give a more and more conceptual knowledge to the students in their physical labs once they perform their experiment in virtual lab platform by following the virtual reality labs. Okay, so it cannot be actually traditional labs cannot be replaced via these e-learning platforms. Rather, VR virtual reality training complements them by using traditional virtual reality training. Laboratories can create a comprehensive and effective training program that definitely enhance or increase the learner engagement, promotes practical application of the knowledge, and provides realistic experiences and delivers measurable uh, training outcomes. Like suppose if I like to have my students, like they will be very close to the standard value, what they can do, they can perform the experiment by following the virtual labs and the virtual reality, because here they have a good feeling of like they are basically plugging something or unplugging something, and they can hold the component itself, can put and arrange themselves all the components of the particular experiments in the same way whatever the theory allows. Okay, so they have good opportunity to understand in a real way. Okay, so it gives actually more realistic view of our physical labs, virtual reality. Okay, so once they have all the gadgets of virtual reality, so they can have a good feeling of all these. Okay, so please go to the next slide. Okay, so now I would like to discuss about the hands-on training. Traditional laboratory training involves instructor-led lectures, like sometimes, first of all, faculty deliver the lecture, gives all the theoretical concept to the students, train them, and then whenever suppose they got all the information in the morning lecture, in the evening they have lab, so they can go to the hands-on in their physical lab, they can go there. Okay, so this but VR can supplement these activities with virtual hands-on experiences in the realistic environment. Okay, like in virtual lab, what we do, everything is there. on that in terms of the lab manual. Once you go the simulator, you can arrange themselves and can put some value there by following the guidelines of the theoretical concept, and the student can have basically the values as an output. But in virtual reality, what are they doing? They are arranging everything by themselves in the realistic way. Okay. So they can have a real feeling of the experiment, like they are arranging all the components of the particular experiments by themselves, and now put this value and change the value in ammeter or voltmeter, and they are getting this such type of result. So basically, it gives a realistic environment, enhancing the level of immersion and their engagement. Learners can safely practice their skills in virtual laboratory, that reinforcing that why they have learned through traditional training methods without the need to work in, and then they contaminate active laboratories or use valuable supplies. Okay, so actually in virtual reality platform, we can see the students can have a real sense of all the physical experiments, like they in their physical labs, they can have a good feeling, good experience of that. Okay, please go to the next slide.
हेलो
हेलो हेलो मैम।
Yeah,
हेलो
जी हेलो मैम,
please.
बताइए। यस प्लीज।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून मैम, बताइए।
सर मुझे ना पूछना था कि कल आरडीसी मीटिंग है ना मेरी सुभारती में।
अच्छा, कल आपकी है? ओके।
हाँ हाँ
आप अच्छा
सर
शुभारती से
मुझे
बोल रही हैं
पूछना।
आप? हाँ।
हाँ सर
अच्छा
हाँ
अच्छा,
जी बोल रही हूँ।
बताइए बताइए। हाँ, फिर देन?
तो सर मुझे पूछना था कि किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस पुटअप हो सकते हैं कल,
देखिए, उसमें
क्योंकि
कल
सर
आप,
मेरा पार्ट होगा तो वो तो ठीक
मैं
है, बट
समझ
एआई
गया।
वाला
वो
होगा।
कह सकते हैं कि भाई आप जो है, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू
Dr.
फाइंड आउट द
Upendra, Dr.
स्टेटस
Upendra,
ऑफ
I
द।
think your mic is, are you talking via mobile? Okay, now, thank you. So, I cannot see this slide. Can you please make it clear so that I can see the slide? Dr. Rajiv, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. One minute.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is okay.
Yeah, actually, I cannot see the entire slide, this slide. Yeah, okay, fine. So now I would like to discuss about the hands-on. Please go ahead. Go for the next slide. Yeah, remote training and accessibility. Okay. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if we talk about the remote training and accessibility, traditional training options have lot of limitations when learners are in remote or inaccessible location. VR training overcomes these challenges by allowing learners in different geographic areas to access virtual training scenarios at the same time. So here I would like to say, suppose जैसे कन्नौज है, कन्नौज से और हम रूरल उसमें चले जाएं, ठीक है. Sometimes it happens कि भाई बहुत सारे ऐसे भी कॉलेजेस होते हैं जहाँ पे सपोज 10 एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं है, वी हैव लिटिल लेस नंबर ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट, हम 6 ही कर पा रहे हैं, 4 नहीं है, but in our AKTU curriculum, actually, we need to perform total 5. Sorry, total 10. तो 10 experiments तो करना जरूरी है ना, बच्चे को जाने का right है. So how do they basically fulfill this requirement? So this is the basic problem of all those who are living in the remote areas. So basically, these VR training labs actually, they can fulfill this criteria and remove all the challenges, and they allow basically learners in different geographic areas where they are living, they can have equal access to all virtual training, and they can think more and more so many times. So whatever they are performing in the lab, so they can perform anytime in 24 hours. So they have a full opportunity to perform the experiment there. Okay, please go to the next slide. Preparing for real world scenarios. Traditional methods of training often focus on theory, hypothetical scenarios, but here virtual reality concept actually bridges the gap between the theory and real world application by immersing trainees in realistic simulated environment where they can practice, develop their skills. Now, there are many more things what we should understand. Being an engineering institution, we can give this opportunity to our students. They can basically create an environment, because all these are the part of the back end and the front end, so they can better perform. Okay, so even they can develop these skills for their recruitment purposes. Okay, and आप विश्वास नहीं मानेंगे, at our PSIT, most of the student who they are working in virtual labs, basically they got good placement of like 38 to 50 lakhs. Okay, because the people are required all these skills. So we can train our students in the same way so that they have a good placement in different companies. They those who want to hire such a skilled person. So we can give this all these facility to our students, like even small projects to our students, just to make virtual lab and go to a reality concept also. So for this actually they need to work on Blender, then Unity. So some of the team should be good in the Blender. They can structure the models. Okay, models of like even you can involve them in different projects also. Suppose you are planning to conduct any project which is not feasible practically, physically, just because of the high cost, you can go for the same project at virtual mode. Okay, so and then you can evolve the virtual reality concept also. So basically, these may be a good example, like Japanese or German technologies are very fast, even in China also. So what we can do, we can go for their technologies, we can develop them here by following the virtual labs, and then we can go for the our physical projects also, physical equipments. Okay, so basically, suppose if I want to make a robot, we can go for the virtual platform. So I can work on the cost-effective robot. Okay, so by evolving the oldest technology. Okay, which is not practically possible in our physical labs, just to work on it. Okay, just because of lack of the components. Okay, and because of costlier components. okay, sometimes, and lack of instructor. But here we can play the games all, and then we can make the student trained, and we can bridge this gap between the theory and the real world application. Then whenever they want to go for the that project in a real way, so in a real world application, so basically, again, I think someone, yeah, someone is talking here. If you have any problem, I can stop myself. Should I go ahead? Can I go ahead? Please let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Now you can continue.
Okay. Please go to the next slide. I was discussing the next slide. Okay, so now for this, actually, we need to identify the goals and objective to set up the virtual reality laboratories at our colleges, universities, like technical, non-technical universities. So basically, non-technical universities, they requires many more skilled trainees who can basically teach them how to go for the virtual reality concept or virtual lab itself. So before diving into the technical aspects of how to set up the VR labs for the universities, okay, and for the technical, non-technical colleges, universities, it is essential to identify the goals, objective, just to integrate a virtual reality lab into the educational environment. Suppose the virtual labs are included in the curriculum of UGC, in by following the new education policy. In the same way, we can accommodate the VR labs also. We can give the proposal, and we can accommodate VR lab. We can make it entry into UGC curriculum or AICT curriculum also. Okay, just by following new education policy 2020 objectives. Okay, some common goals including like enhancing student engagement, promoting experimental learning, facilitating a better understanding of complex concept, and preparing students for the real world applications of VR technology. These actually I have already discussed. Once the student perform the experiment, or they made the experiment in the presence of or in the supervision of their faculty member, if they prepare something new, whatever they want to have in the physical lab, so basically they could have a good understanding of the complex concept, whatever difficult in their physical labs. Okay, so they made you can make more and more visible to your student for your real world application of VR technology. Okay, so please go ahead, go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the curating VR content for different subjects. After identifying potential VR applications, we curate a diverse range of content that complements various subjects taught at the university, college. There are so many things. Suppose if we talk about that non-technical university, non-technical colleges, they have a lot of subjects in arts stream, in science stream, in commerce stream. There is no need to work on virtual lab or virtual reality training only on one side, that is the science background. It is equal opportunity for the commerce student, equal opportunity for the arts student also. Okay, suppose some art student have a psychology subject. So basically, this psychology subject can be understood in a better way by following the VR concept. Okay, so we can make many more the case study just to understand the psychology subject by evolving the VR techniques. Okay, so work closely with the subject matter experts, about those who are subject expert, in theory and lab, you can cater them, work out the curriculum of it. I think it would be better, suppose if we choose any one of the experiment, or I'm not talking about only the experiment, you can work on some project ideas also. You can cater your student as well as the faculty expert. Okay, yeah, just 5 to 6 students, someone who is good in Blender, someone is good in Unity. So basically, a good team will be in hand of the faculty members, so they can handle in a better way. So they can talk about all these things in a small meeting. So could arrange everything in their meetings and accommodate a student in projects, and then they can go good outcomes also. So even they fulfill the requirement of NBA, okay, National Board of Accreditation, and NAC also. Okay, so there are so many, like if we go for the NIRF ranking everywhere, we need some important documentation process. You can make your student, train them, and you can go for the filing itself and make all the documents and show the teams of NAC, NBA, or any other accreditation program. Okay, so here we can create a repository, and it's very simple. If you come to IIT Kanpur in the last meet of virtual labs, Noodle Centers meet, so it was discussed so many times by Dhananjay ji, and Suman ma'am, Vinay sir, Harsh ji, all of had been discussed about the repository. Basically, they have already made a particular format of the virtual labs. So the only thing is just to create a content. Content creation is only the responsibility of the faculty experts, subject experts. They took actually care of all these content creation, and they can suggest their students just follow this content, this concept, and make this. Okay, so please go ahead. So collaborating with faculty for course integration. So what is the first step of that collaboration? The first step in implementing virtual reality lab is to collaborate closely with faculty member, that I already said. Just make a team of, first of all, try to find out the student, those who are working, you can make more and more team. If we talk about the engineering institution, definitely they have little less time, because once you give the opportunity for the third year, so they are already busy in their recruitment process. Okay, so it is not visible to them, because it's very, so please keep continue this chain of teaching and learning from final year to the first year. Suppose now we have the BTech first year. Okay, they are in the odd semester. Okay, now this is about to over. But now what I did at PSIT, I trained them with my colleagues, under the supervision of my colleagues. What I did, we trained our students community, okay, for the successful making of this virtual reality lab of 8 to 9 experiments. Even we are not focusing on these 9 experiments, which are the gap area of AICT and submitted to IIT Kanpur. We are working more and more other experiments which are only available on the virtual lab platform. We are converting them into virtual reality. Okay, so basically we have chosen the set of students from first year, the second year, and then third year. We make team A, team B, team C. Suppose team A जो थी वो final year की थी, now they are busy in their recruitment process, so team B will work. Now these team B suppose belong to third year, so this team, what they will do, they have now coming, like upcoming some we can say some exams, so they are not able to perform the experiment. So what happened, so the second year team will take over all. or the first year team will take care of the rest of the part. Okay. In the same way, what we did here, now the third year and fourth year are actually, they have started joining the institute at PSIT. But the first year and second year, they are performing exams in pre-university exams. And after that, they are having exams, AKTU university exam, okay, from 17 Feb. Okay, everybody knows about that. So meanwhile, the first year and second year, like team C and team D, will not be able to work on anymore during this stretch up to the 7th March. So what will happen? The third year team and the final year, those who are selected now will take over. Team A and Team B will take over all the work what was pending by the Team C and Team D. So they will take care of during this stretch. Okay. So this means that there will be no total dependency on only one set of team. Okay. So because we have given this equal opportunity to entire 50 students and make them divide into 4 to 5 teams, team A, team B, team C, team D, and team E. So the only need is to engage the faculty member with the student so that they can work on a better way. Excuse me. Yes, please. So now we should engage in discussions with the educator from various disciplines to understand their teaching objective. What are their teaching objective? We need to identify the areas where our technology can increase the learning process, can enhance the learning process so that the outcome would be better. Okay, so we need to work with faculty to explore how VR experiences can complement traditional teaching methods and offer unique learning opportunities, encourage faculty to provide input on the type of content, because once a time it is very practically, like it's very a practical experience of mine only. Like sometimes I be busy in some work and not able to submit the content. So what I did, I gave the same work because I have made already a team. So in my presence, some other person is working on that and assisting the team of students. They are working well. Okay, suppose I am on the leave, so other team will work in absence of mine. Okay, so this maybe actually remove the technical glitches what we found time to time. Now please go ahead. Identifying suitable courses and subjects. Once you find the suitable courses and subjects, there are many more subjects in AKTU we can focus on. It is not only restricted to work on only these things like physics, chemistry, math, or electrical or electronics, civil engineering, mechanical. Not only these things, we have a lot of other things also. Like suppose today I was looking on, there was a non-credit, there was an exam on non-credit course that was cyber security and Python programming. Okay, so students were writing something on in their PU sheet. That is okay because this is a regular tradition of the institutes. They are also doing the same, just to have just to secure the good marks in their sessional exam. Okay, sessional. So now, but here, what we can do, we are having a lot of subjects like human value. It is the mandate to all the students to understand the human values. Okay, so but sometimes it happens like when the teacher or faculty member enters to the classroom and while they teach the same course of human values to the among the students. So what they feel, what they experience, basically it happens कि student मन नहीं लगाता. जैसे इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी है वो नहीं समझना चाहता उस को, बट वी कैन गिव दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी टू द स्टूडेंट्स to make more focus on this subject course, suitable course of Indian constituency, make the virtual lab of it, and you can give the case study to this, and you can make work and continue working on this. Okay, so what they feel, they will feel like okay, one aspects they are understanding the subject also. Another aspects you are skilled, you are giving training the platform of virtual labs and then virtual reality also. So this is the beauty of like what we should adopt this concept of virtual labs and virtual reality in our curriculum in different subjects, not only in the science and technology, even in humanities also. Even in English also, we can give the experiments like some training on verbs, adjective, and they can play the games like suppose they are writing some letter on that, and then something on the virtual platform, they are writing something there and giving their ideas. If we write this present tense, so it means they okay, and if we write in the past tense, the meaning of the sentence would be this. Okay, I know some of the platform are already available on YouTube and all, but please let them do. Give them opportunity just to learn, and then you will realize they will focus more and more to this rather than doing some nonsense thing. Okay. Okay, so even they can have, if we include or integrate this VR lab into our course, where the technology can augment understanding, critical thinking, it actually increases the critical thinking. ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग जनरली बहुत कम होती है। नॉर्मली मैं देखती हूँ बीटेक में बहुत ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्पून फीडिंग हो जाती है, राइट। दैट इज कि हम जब एक कोर्स पूरा खत्म करा रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो होता क्या है कि जब ये सब्जेक्ट पूरे सिलेबस जब ये कवर हो जाता है, तो स्टूडेंट क्या करता है कि मैं तो लास्ट डे पढ़ ही लूंगा, मैं तो कर ही लूंगा, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द यूनिट यू कैन गिव सम you can give some opportunity of virtual lab or virtual reality just to understand of so it will enhance the critical thinking. Like a student will again need to think like, okay, this would happen if I put this value, and this would happen this value. In the same way what I did at this time, in physics course we have actually electromagnetic field theory as a second unit. So in this unit actually, usually engineering student thought of computer science, they think like this is the actually subject where have a lot of mathematics, vector calculus and all. Okay, so what is the utility of this subject? So what I think, I just gave them opportunity to make a program for the skin depth. Okay, for the skin depth and some other also for the displacement current, for discontinuity equation. So all these are what they feel, okay, this is very good. I actually use my Python programming skills here. So I made this, and someone said I'm good in JavaScript. So I made the program, the Java platform, and I basically perform make this there and plot this graph. This type of someone has plotted the 2D graph, someone has plotted the 3D graph. Then I realized we can give the opportunity of virtual lab also. Then I allow them to enter in the physics lab and electrical lab especially. So they and for some experiment, and then they choose some of the experiment just to design the model in the blender. So this is the beauty of like virtual lab or virtual reality. We can make more our student focus on the technical side. Okay, please go to the next one. Creating lesson plans with VR lab activities. Now we have already lesson plans for our theory, and we can say the lecture plans, especially for the theory course. Okay, not for lab, because in AKT curriculum we have already seen we have 10 experiments. So usually we provide the lab manual to the student, and they work well where they perform the experiment by following the physical concept or other whatever electrical concept, electronics and all. Okay, mechanics and whatever you say in civil or okay. So they perform the experiment, but if we include the VR lab activities into our curriculum, so we can create some lesson plans to it. We can create lab outcomes. Okay, so whatever provided by the AKTU, so we have already made some our course outcomes for the lab also, as well as the theory course. So we can work on the lesson plans for the virtual lab activities, virtual reality activities. Okay, please go ahead. So these are some key learning points. Identify key learning points within each VR experience. Design activities that encourage active participation and critical reflections. Ensure that the VR lab activities are well structured. Okay, it could be possible only best guidance of the faculty member only. Okay, providing students with clear guidance on how to make the most of their VR learning, and introduce VR experiences as part of pre-class preparation or as supplemental materials to reinforce concept whatever covered in the theory classes during lectures. Then we can work on the design VR based simulations, lot of exercises, practical problem could be given there. Okay, so that encourages actually the problem solving analysis of the students, even the teamwork that is a part of the program outcomes, POs. I think it is 12 or 11 program outcomes. So basically, when they perform a set of 6 to 7 students, they will work with a team and then make some decisions. So their skill will be enhanced. So create a debriefing and sessions after the VR experiences to facilitate discussions, reflection on the knowledge gained. So we can ask them what was your experience and how you basically make this in the better way. You may encourage your students to create their own VR content. First time, what you can do, you can give our labs also just to understand how these look like, and then you can give the idea to prepare own VR content as part of class project, promoting creativity, deeper understanding of the subject matter also. Please go to the next slide. I think it is now over. These are some best practices for VR labs implementation. Number one, comprehensive planning, faculty collaboration, continuous assessment. So, if we talk about the comprehensive planning, so first of all, we need to conduct some planning, proper planning, and need assessment before setting up the VR lab. What are the basic things we need? First of all, we must have the first of all the requirements of the lab or some project and their key points, their actual theoretical concept. Theoretical content would be given by the faculty member. So, and this would be given to the student. So basically they can arrange and make a flow diagram. So of the that particular project, suppose I will switch on, then connect this, and then it would go ahead. Okay, so this is totally depending on the planning and need of assessment once we go for the setup of the virtual lab at any institute or university. And of course, this is the best practice of VR implementation. We must have the good collaboration of faculty members, engage faculty early in the process and involve them in content selection, lesson planning, okay, collaborating with instructors, ensure that sometimes it happens like someone is good in the lab, not good in teaching theory classes. So basically, the lab instructor and the theory lecture faculty both can collaborate itself, and then they can ensure whether the content is good or not. Sometimes laboratory instructor can give good instruction as well as compared to the faculty member for the development of the labs. for the development of virtual reality concept also, this lab or this project should look like this. Okay, there should be a continuous assessment. Just make a proper planning of weekly planning, and make meetings more and more. If you're not visible to the weekly planning, go for the 15 days planning also. Okay, so you can gather the feedback from the user, and suppose someone is making some, and use a data-driven insight to make a continuous improvement also. Please go ahead. So basically, I completed here my presentation. If you have any question, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, we can work on it. If you need any assistance from our side, so what we are doing, we are developing, actually, we are involving ourselves in train the students and from other colleges also, especially from the degree college. Okay, as well, we can work on the technical institute students. So if you want to collaborate, so we can work on that. If you have any idea, we can work on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna Dixit, for that enlightening presentation on integration of immersive technology VR for enhanced realism and engagement in virtual labs. Your insights into how VR can revolutionize real learning environment are truly inspiring. We appreciate your time and expertise today. Thank you to our audience for being a part of this session, and we hope you leave with a deeper understanding of the future of virtual labs. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have any question, you can ask me. I'm here. Uh, the questions are always welcome, and the questions which are not known to me, that is of course welcome. We can work on it.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Your voice is not, you're not audible properly. Can you please speak a little louder?
Hello, ma'am. Now
Yeah.
is audible?
Yeah.
मैम एक्चुअली मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि कैसे हम बच्चों के लिए इंटर्नशिप के लिए काम कर सकते हैं ताकि बच्चों को इंटर्नशिप मिले. Those students are good in technical and front end and back ends also.
Ma'am,
So
okay, ma'am, you can work on, first of all, directly you cannot go for that internship, but we have actually regular practice at IIT Kanpur. They always welcome to the student as an intern, or paid or unpaid. Okay. So that doesn't matter, because they can have the offer letter and all. So basically they can work on. Okay, but this is the basic problem of these any institution to accommodate a lot of student. Okay. So first of all, better is to keep collaboration with the faculty members from the different institute, so you can involve in self. Okay. So suppose like PSIT or IIT Kanpur, like IIT Kanpur. So via online, you first of all just make a plan of the project or some lab. Okay, make the proposal, and make a team for for the students also. Make a team of faculty members, those who will assist them, the team of students, and always believe on making many more team for the same projects, like team A, team B, team C, team D, because they have little less time to think on. Usually if we think on their BTech first year or second year, यही उनके पास एक time होता है, and third year and final year usually go for the internship. So better is to work on, because जब वो फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर में इतना ट्रेन हो जाएगा, तो फिर थर्ड ईयर में आपके लिए सरदर्दी नहीं है ना, कि आपको ये सिखाने के लिए अब बेटा आइए, अब आप ये सीखिए आके.
एक्चुअली मैं मेरी टीम में सेकेंड ईयर एंड थर्ड ईयर को इन्वॉल्व किया था, एंड ही जस्ट मेक द
replica of a virtual lab actually. जो virtual lab का जो पूरी website है replica पूरा बनाया था, and some modification is there also. And discuss with Dhananjay sir by the Google Meet. So then how to the process and next level suggest
Next level, you can propose that particular, suppose this experiment is not available. You need to search on the platform like AKTU के एक gap area में आप देख सकते हो, वहाँ पे virtual lab का पूरा एक पोर्टल पे है.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, you can find out the gap area. Okay, so in that gap area you can work on. Even suppose you are finding some mistakes in a like the experiments which are already existing in the virtual lab platform, so you can go for that also. Okay, suppose you want to make it in a better way. So आप क्या कर रहे हो कि आप वो जितने भी points हैं कि कौन कौन से ways हैं जिन पर ये experiment बहुत अच्छा perform नहीं हो पा रहा है virtual lab platform में, so you can make the points and submit to Dhananjay sir. Okay, Dhananjay, IIT Kanpur. So basically, they will emphasize on that more and more, and the team will sit and they will take the decision. Yeah, we can. We should go forward for the same project for the same lab, whatever is existing already. Okay, so this is the actually because this is a human error. It may possible because first time in India, a lot of participating institute they involve their student and faculty member just to make this platform a huge platform of virtual lab. So it may practically possible. Okay.
Okay.
So it could be done, and you can find out actually the gap area also. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Ma'am, same. Hello, ma'am. This is Dr. Arunima Sharma.
Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am, same, little bit same problem I was facing in one of the lab of biotechnology and biomedical engineering ma'am,
Okay.
regarding cell viability test, where there is animation is there and simulation is there, ma'am. But no his matlab, how to demonstrate to the students is not there. Matlab, if a student is, himself wants to try visit the lab, it is not feasible for the student ki how to operate the lab. Ma'am, only simulation is there. There is no instruction actually, ma'am, in that lab.
Okay, so this is the biggest problem with that particular lab. You can make make a content for the guidelines, instructions. Okay, and then you can submit it to IIT Kanpur. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Hanji.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Please.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else, please? Someone is asking, Dr. Shushma from IMS, can we apply it in the domain of management as well? Yes, ma'am, definitely. From IIT Kanpur, Dr. Deepu Philip. He joined first time what I invited Professor Kantesh Pilani sir and Professor Deepu Philip from the management. So he has a good knowledge of all technical aspects, but he belongs to the management, I think, studies there. So nowadays he is looking after SIIC, I think so. I'm not very sure about that, but he was talking about the textile industry virtual lab in the field of textile industry. In the same way, he was just, I think, talking about the behavior of the employees under the platform of virtual labs, how to tackle in the entire management of textile industry. So definitely you can work on the management also. You can give some case studies also. So a student can understand that in a better way. Even a management student can have a sound knowledge of all these front end, back end also as well, apart from the management studies. I think uh, if it is over, so shall I leave now? Because I have a meeting also at 4:15. If no more question is there, so I will leave there.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall I
Thank you,
leave?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can we end the meeting?